It's 10 a.m. chats with Paula. I'm live here Friday morning, and this morning we're talking about tight hamstrings. So I'm just sitting in my back garden. It's a little bit overcast today, but really nice. I thought it would be a good opportunity to sit outside while I talk to you. So. I was thinking about how most people come to the yoga practice with tight hamstrings, and it can actually be something that can be difficult to break through even when you've been coming for a while, particularly if you're doing things all day long that are tightening your hamstrings. So, for example, if you're sitting all day in an office and then you're coming into yoga class once a week, or you're driving a lot and then you come into a class for an hour a week, you'll often notice that the hamstrings are constantly tight and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere with them. That's completely normal because you're not spending the same amount of time unraveling as you are tightening. So we've been sitting since we were in preschool or Montessori or play school or wherever you start at age 3, and we've been sitting pretty much for our whole schooling life, like most of the day, sitting at a desk in a chair. And sorry guys, I'm losing the signal here, so hopefully it can you see me? Okay, hopefully it stays. I suppose what I'm saying is that you definitely have to put some effort into releasing the hamstrings, and when you start to build flexibility in the hamstrings, it opens up your whole practice. Tight hamstrings really affects a huge amount of what you're doing physically on the yoga mat, but also it's affecting like your everyday life. Tight hamstrings can cause rounding in the lower back. It can, sometimes tight hips are actually coming from tight hamstrings. It's something that I would definitely encourage you to work on loosening out. So regardless of whether you're doing a home yoga practice or not, to spend some time every day to stretch out the hamstrings will make a massive difference in your life. It will release a lot of the time tension in the back. It will help to loosen up the hips. Good morning, Abigail. And it will change your yoga practice for sure when you're if you've got a regular yoga practice. So how do you work to stretch out the hamstrings? It's not a massive challenge really. It's quite straightforward. You need to do something that's going to straighten the leg and stretch the back of it. So usually I start people who have particularly tight hamstrings doing a hamstring stretch lying on their back, and that way it takes any pressure out of the lower back. You can lie on your back with your knees bent and then take one leg into the air. You can use a belt, a towel, something over the sole of the foot, and just hold on to the two ends of the belt or the towel with your hands. When you keep the leg that you're not stretching bent, it makes it easier on your lower back. And because the hamstrings attach into the pelvis, if they're tight, they're going to cause a rounding in the lower back. They're going to tilt the pelvis and cause a rounding in the lower back. So in the beginning, don't be tempted to have the free leg, the leg that you're not stretching, straight on the floor. It's not going to do anything for it's not going to speed up the process or anything like that. Keep say you start stretching the right leg, keep the left leg bent, take the right leg into the air, use something, a belt or a towel or something around the foot, so you're not grasping for the foot. That's not what it's about. Your shoulders should be relaxed, your arms should be relaxed. Try to relax your hands as well. There's a tendency to grip really hard with the hands around the towel or the belt. So see, can you relax all of that and then focus on straightening the leg that's in the air? And you can do it gradually. Give yourself time. So you're going to spend a couple of minutes stretching the legs. So maybe start with a soft bend in the knee and then work towards straight, and eventually the leg is straight, say for the second half of the stretch. So if you're holding for 2 minutes, then you can keep a soft bend in the knee and work towards straight for a minute, but then for the second minute fully straight. Engage the front of your thigh, grip at the thigh to help to straighten the knee more. Press the sole of the foot away from you as though you're trying to kick up towards the ceiling with the sole of the foot. When you send your heel towards the ceiling and you draw the toes back towards the shin, you get that flexion in the ankle joint. You're going to get right into the calf muscles and the Achilles tendon, which is really important. So those of you who are into running and find that the legs are particularly tight, and right down into the calf muscles and the Achilles, that last little bit is really important to get that flexion in the ankle joint. And then you just breathe your way through it, deep breathing down into the muscles. Every time you breathe out, imagine the muscles softening and releasing, unwinding. So you do it on both sides. And you can do that first thing in the morning, you can do it last thing at night. If you did it once a day for maybe 2 minutes on each side, amazing. If you could add in an extra session in the day, so you're doing it twice a day, in the morning and the evening, or whenever you have a time slot that you can fit that in, you'll see a massive progression. You want to do it every single day, so there's no that consistency is really important to seeing the progression. If you do it today and then you don't do it for a few days, and you do it on Monday and then you forget about it again, you're just not going to see the progression. But if you do it every single day, within a very short space of time, you're going to notice the hamstrings starting to release out. But you've got to be consistent with it. So every day, a couple of minutes a day. It's not a huge amount of time. We all have a few minutes in our day to do something like that. And if you know that your hamstrings are a little bit tight or a lot tight, if you're doing a lot of sports that are tightening up the hamstrings, you're sitting all day, or you're driving a lot, then this exercise is for you. Just make the commitment, decide you're doing it, decide the times you're going to do it. So you don't end up at the end of the day realizing that you never got it done, and then you think, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Set your times up when you're going to remember. Even put a reminder on your phone where you know that you have just a couple of minutes that you can pop that in. It's like everyone has 4 minutes somewhere in between jobs or in between running around. So commit to yourself and get a picture of yourself, or set your phone up and take a little video of how it looks on the first day. And then you can do that again after a week, and again in week 2. You don't have to do it every day, but every so often, say every week or every 2 weeks, have a look and see what progress you've made, because you will see a big difference, and that will motivate you to keep going. And then if you have a regular yoga practice, when you go to your class, you're going to notice a massive difference on the mat, because so many of the poses, seated and standing, will be affected by your hamstring flexibility. Even getting up into a headstand or a handstand, good morning Jenny, will be affected by the handstands, or will be affected by the hamstring flexibility. So I would imagine that a lot of the poses that you're working on will feel better for this exercise. And you could decide, I'm going to do it for the month of July. Just a short time that you're going to do it, to see can you make some progress. And let me know how you get on. Put a comment and tell me how your hamstrings are at the moment. Tell me if you're doing the challenge, and let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear. If you need more tips on what to do, let me know. But honestly, for me, working on hamstring flexibility lying on the back is the most effective way. You'll see the quickest progression. There's less chance of cheating when you're lying on your back. You could do a seated forward bend. You could sit up and do a seated forward bend, but it's easier to start rounding into the spine or bending into the knees, and sort of bypassing the hamstrings, which defeats the purpose. So, the lying on the back is perfect. Do it that way, and then let me know how you're going. If you're not seeing progression in a week or two, also, let me know, or send me your video or your picture so that I can see what you're doing, because I will be able to tell from a quick sneak peek of what you're doing why there's no progression, if there is none. But I would be surprised if you don't get progression. If you really good morning, Ellie. If you really listen back to the cues that I gave at the start there, and you follow them, and you make sure that at least for 1 minute of the stretch, the leg that you're stretching is fully straight, and that you're getting that flexion at the ankle joints. You press the heel up towards the ceiling and draw the toes back. And if you're particularly tight, if the legs, if you can't get the leg up into the air and it's very low towards the floor, that's okay. Do that. You're better to do that with a straight leg. Use the belt or the towel to hold the leg. You're better to do that, because you'll get there quicker than to take the leg right up into the air and bend the knee. So go lower if you need to go lower. Give yourself more slack on the belt or the towel if you need to. That's okay, and watch the change. Those hamstrings are going to unravel, and you're going to feel amazing physically in your body when you start to let go of that tightness that you're holding on to. I also really want to hear from you about what you want me to talk about, because the more feedback you give me, if you let me know which videos you like, which videos you don't like, what you want to hear about, then I can talk about things that you really want to watch and that you really need, that are going to benefit you in your physical body, and they're going to benefit you in your practice, or maybe benefit you in your mind. You tell me what you want me to talk to you about. Otherwise, I pick the topics, and I'm picking things that people talk to me about in studio and stuff, but I really want to hear from you. I want to hear what you want me to talk about, and I will be here again next Friday. I'm here every Friday, 10 a.m. and teacher training starts tomorrow, so I am going to be busy from now until next Thursday, and Fridays are day off. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck in and meeting the new group, and just a whole new journey there. For those of you who are thinking about teacher training, it's time now to book into the part-time training that's running over the weekends between the 15th of September and the 1st and 2nd of December, that weekend. So if you want to do your teacher training with us this year, then that's the last opportunity to train for 2018. So let me know, because we're starting to book up that course now. And just one other thing, we have still just a few places left for Jenny Lee Toner, who is coming to Ireland on the 20th of July. She's amazing. She's a teacher from the States. She teaches all over the world. She's written a book called The Perfect Chaturanga. She is so knowledgeable. She incorporates her anatomy knowledge into her classes, and she's so easy to learn from. She explains everything so amazingly well. She's going to be teaching Friday night and all day Saturday. So anybody who wants to come along and join that, you really need to book in, because we're filling up really fast. There's only a couple of places left. We have just released the the individual booking. So for those of you who wanted a place just on the Saturday or just on the Friday, there's a handful of places left in some of those sessions, but you need to jump onto the booking page. It's durgayoga.pike13.com and go in onto the calendar to either the 20th or the 21st and book your place onto that. So that's me. I am going now for a busy day. I'm going to meet Abigail for brunch, which I'm looking forward to. Haven't seen her in a long time. And I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.